14:25. I'm making a presentation file from 14:25. And presentation will start at 15:45. And each group number 1, 2, and 3 will have 5 minutes to talk and discussion. And presentation will be ended at 4 o'clock.
Can you tell us the time one more time slowly? Can you just
Yeah.
write it down?
Okay.
Introduce. So from there, from you.
From me?
Yeah.
From 2:45 to 3:05, we will do a preparation for presentation, and it will be only for group 1, 2, and 3. So I hope other groups will talk about the final presentation on the Friday. And from 3:05 to 3:20, there will be the presentation of the group 1, 2, and 3, and it will be 5 minutes for each. And after that, we will have a break for 10 minutes, and then we will do the cultural experience. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is for you to the education computers want to talk about use education computers because we are the students and we are the future leaders. So what are we So we're gonna focus about not focus on the G20. It is political and general information meeting.
It's a conference of state members.
Definition of this particular event, right? So we have only like 1 or 2 or 3 points regarding class. So yes, it is.
With all cultural differences, do you think cultural differences by this kind of cooperation in education will be
Mention that Korean and Chinese will be more like each other, and Chinese is much more different because you emphasize on the democratic democracy and Chinese govern the
I think early education in these environments like China and doing.
And also, I think like Japan and Korea also have like quite.
an acid rain is also I know this year the summer school is held in Mexico City in Untitled University. It's also for education, like cultural exchange and academic research. The students from each of the 21 universities pick up the students and get together to attend different kinds of activities. It will
Hello, people. I
Does size matter? So makers are better than
just not as asking
I think
가방은 이거 핸드폰.
There is no other information I can write now.
This kind of thing cannot happen when we are doing our masters.
We have like researches. It's not for degrees or not degrees, but only for research. Maybe this professor
Related to other
professors in Japan, universities, United Nations University. It is like for example, our department has got a program, so it is a system for low carbon.
Environmental protection,
low carbon.
Low carbon system. So they just cooperated, so there is
Science major. That's very good. You're giving us new things, teaching us new things.
it's quite a big system, I think, low carbon system, but includes network and many activities. In last 5 years, maybe just for future.
Yeah, probably YKRF. What's the problem with it? What's the matter? What is our problem? I think it is good to analyze problems. Solutions that as long as we only for example, the usual conclusion from YKRF would be very different from the conclusion of YKRF. So it's very good to answer.
it's really hard to find an identity. We may seek for the reason why we are separated so far from each other nowadays, which is different from what we were in history. We may see the different developing process of the three countries, or why we are the way we are nowadays, which is different from the past. And it may impact the economic development. So that's my
If you choose this, how we can do this, minimizing effects on harmful. For example, every political, like, it's not relations, but political problems are caused by his mind. We have historic issues, so I chose this too. Okay, that's perfect.
So we have
manner.
Since their labor is very expensive and they
slide with the title called United States. But
that experience, for example, SM, could success in Japan. They very analyze Japan well, and they analyze the consumers.
I think if South Korea can do something for North Korea, it will be better for us, the Japanese, because sometimes they try to attack and
Japan Sea.
Or the recipient. So we have to get together and solve this problem. So it's not like, oh, it's somebody's Korea's fault, it's Japanese fault. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. But the precise scale of the impact of the acid rain still remains unclear. But because of lack of monitoring stations and ecological studies, but we're working on that right now. And the good thing is that if we work on it, like it can be solved by technological controls at source. So
What's the name? Apex 70 million. Oh, Apex, yeah, Apex. It's Russian. Sorry, my bad.
Like annual thing.
Okay, I know what it is. May, yeah, May.
I agree with her. I think the cultural factor, you can avoid the cultural factor. It is intertwined with every topic. So we just need to decide we should talk about the international affairs or the economic development. So that's the two different directions. We talk about the foreign part, the diplomatic things, or the economic part, how our industry developed. So we just can choose one direction. And we found specific examples to add into our topic. And it can be from the first step is history, the origin of our characteristics of the three nations, and then the culture, how we are today, the features of our nations, and then the directions are divided. The political sides about the diplomatic things, or the economic development about our industry or agriculture or something about economics.
my opinion is important. For example, import rice from Japan and other countries. Not only
Rugby in general because there's a lot of dust and it's inconvenient. But I haven't heard of huge accident.
And actually, the yellow dust itself is not the big problem, but there is some kind of pollutants included in the yellow dust. I think that's the problem that makes people sick. It's kind of impossible to solve yellow dust. Yeah.
It's a natural phenomenon.
Yeah. It's not like but actually the yellow dust is coming from desert and western part of the
China, and we should we can stop the human conservation. No, we can just stop lands becoming desert.
Stop the lands becoming deserts?
Becoming deserts because of the dry. Yeah, they are keeping dry because the rain doesn't.
But how do you turn a desert
No,
down?
when you operate or compete with same thing. I mean, TV or car or something like that. Samsung versus Panasonic or like that. So we can't operate in the same field.
I think maybe because
They're still discussing.
To make China. And I think the hardest part is China-Japan actually. I heard that because those have quite different interests, like rather than Japan, Korea, and Korea and China. So
What else? Health
problems,
health issues and disease. SARS. Yeah, we need to cooperate. SARS. And bird flu, we must cooperate. Okay, so yellow dust in China, what can we do?
we should plant trees first.
That we should go to the political way of thinking or economic way of thinking, but we decided to go with the economic way of thinking. But we tried to incorporate the idea of culture communication in the economy aspect because we thought the culture is a part of the economy. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, but she said that. So, and from that, I think it's possible to form an identity, a common identity that all Asian nations can share from that.
Alright, so you're thinking that culture is part of economy.
Yeah.
So for the identity, we're going to deal with economy issues.
And not as well as economy, but culture as well. Oh, so we're talking very brief, very ambiguously. Yeah.
Okay. Very ambitious.
Ambitious.
Yes.
Are you sure you guys have no problem with it? You guys okay?
I don't know. It sounds really interesting, but I just don't get how you jump from economy to culture and to identity.
Yeah. And I'll try to
Linking that will be very appreciated.
Anyway, there's Temp. And Temp also has a lot of problems because they just talk.
I found a student's diary on the internet, Chinese Facebook. He just writes something.
What did he say?
He just say how he play with Korean friends. We can do that.
how to narrow with these talks.
Think about it. Alright, so for economic cooperation, we know that it's good, right? Everyone knows it's good. And the problem is, if we know that this is a good idea, why don't we do it now? And that is your problem. What's the...
Your proposal is you said to add it up, something up to the body mass. So we have this huge body pool economy, but we
Cooperation will have more cooperation with other countries because we can get more products, we can have more choices, and we can get cheaper and good products. It's our Chinese people fault. And maybe this image which is sometimes resulted from our big area, our big country, because we just have lots of land. So yeah, and because we are large, and in the history we are the center. So many people say, oh, they want to just show the history again. We want to be the center. It's not the truth. But in our opinion, U.S. is the U.S. center. U.S. center. They just America is the biggest. America is the greatest. So we don't like that. It's so our main topic is
Economy. Yeah.
through the economic we can get what? Whatever we want. Go to the common concept of this economic.
Yeah, I think we have like one stream compared to like one stand. No.
I have an idea, but it's like a tree, and
You mean
it is a flash,
outline?
and you put the economy in the middle of the ground, and you put every little notice on that, and we click it, and it's
the government is thinking about using that technology to the wind energy. Yeah, wind energy.
Wind power.
Yeah, because when
to save the energy,
American for what? Cooperation. It's
Incentive
for economic cooperation.
among three of us.
We just have fun.
Korea and China and Japan export and import very large number of amounts, so it's the incentive to cooperate. If we have tax barrier, we should pay huge transaction costs when we export and import. That's one of the incentives to cooperation. Transaction costs, tax barrier, and
This is about Second World War. Yeah.
Second war, after the second war,
No. It is like to launch the Second World War. Oh no, launch the war to in Asia, right? The war in Asia. Yeah, right. Also maybe the poor because there is quite familiar. Yeah, just as we talk about language, right? Actually, we have very much in common in the writing of China and Japan. This is because just I see a monk. There are so many monks. The monks really have a lot of they do a lot because
Are you guys?
in yours.
they are all connected. They are all airports.
The Prime Minister.
That's good.
它的那个文下的影响，或者是经济规模，就是世界第一。但是最近那个中国请假部的程度比较高，所以他觉得中国以后可能当这个世界第一的经济国家，但是他们的那个文化的影响那个比较少，所以他想把我们的 soft power 就是那样。
Okay, in Korean. Oh. think, who are you?
After economics, about school or
Yeah, even the sensitive issue. Yeah.
I think a big problem is that each country's people are not rational enough. Maybe we are too patriotic. Everyone, we are educated that we should love our own country. So, since the government said this island is our country, then we will accept this idea without any condition. But we never find any solid evidence that from the local history why this area belongs to our country. So that's really something very professional. I'm majoring also some district culture, professional. Like for example, when they first one to get onto the island, how long they people living in the island just support each one. That's all need to be considered. To take into consideration. So we can move on. This can be one of the conclusions for our discussion. That
In conclusion, those three can be, it can be called as a regional population. So Professor talked about that, and I think that could be an approach that we can take. Yeah, we can put our own ideas.
but I think the professor said that role-based policy strategy was advocated by the U.S.
I've heard that. Yeah, but basically the problem of rule-based is for the country with a higher political status or power-based population. Can I drink this? Can I have a drink? 이거.
이거는
있잖아. 얘 거. 얘 거 아니야? Can you give me a sip?
이거?
It's yours, right?
그냥 여기다 엔터 치면 바로 쓰나 봐요.
그래요?
Try part-time. Part-time.
We plan to discuss about that, and the second session is proper understanding about history. The history is the main theme in the liberal arts, right? So we discuss what is history and the fact and the nationalism in history. As the lecturer in the first session said, nationalism, wounded of nationalism or something. We use our nationalism when we understand the history. And the third thing is the management philosophy. Management philosophy.
What's that?
I just
You mean confusion?
So yeah. We will start at 3:05.
So we can just do a discussion.
Every student in China college entrance examination. Almost every place emphasis on the examination.
Korea also.
In China, we have limited resources, information resources to know what you are thinking about because we can't get on the business. I used to have one Korean friend and one Chinese friend, and we just promised to keep in touch with each other by Facebook. I just can't get access to the Facebook. So 3 years after, we just lose each other.
To go for that exchange program a lot, and I said there's a KO and Fudan Siangspho Bari KO and Siangspho Bari Fudan Master Double Degree Program. Those kind of things after we graduate, and then Zhong said there's a forum focused only on environmental issues for university students. So the benefits are, we are going to know about cultural differences, making a new generation of globalized students, and the obstacles that are, we have different majors, so there are a little bit of limitations, and maybe our forum can be inclined to probe Northeast Asian conclusions, and discussion topics do not cover topics for all majors in general, inclined to political science and economics. That can be the obstacle. And Jong said we need to talk about numbers in order to be more concrete. So in terms of cultural communication, we talked about rising of audition programs in China, those kind of things, and we said that cultural communication is beneficial because of the K-pop boom. Many young people started to learn Korean and visit Korea, thus increased exchange in business will also rise, and it will make our life richer, not in terms of increased GDP, but maintaining internal health for Korean food or helping diet for Japanese food. And we have suggested 2 examples of cultural convergence. One is soba plus kimchi, proposed by Hanjin. Saw that, and Hanjin has an experience of eating it. She said it was delicious, and kimchi flavored cookies. Chang said it was very, very delicious. So we also talked about limitations of Korean wave. I think Korean wave, this is what I said, high dependence on capitalism by entertainment companies. I think that is the huge limitation. And I know that Fuji TV is a little bit inclined to pro-Korean behavior, so I'm a little worried about it. I do not do that. And Hanjin said her foreign friend hates Soneshite because it leads to obsession to cosmetics, or it causes eating disorder kind of things. And Korean wave is still in the beginning, so we have still low quality reproduction products, compared to official goods, high quality goods in Japan. So we also talk about influence of IT in cultural communication. It is very famous in spreading songs or music videos. And we also talk about proportion of influence of capital has declined recently compared to a significant rise of influence of social media. And in order to support that, I said Gangnam Style in Korea, the most recent issue in Korea, using YouTube by fan reactions by the music video. Fan reactions in the US are helping spread this Korean music. Jung said the benefits are efficiency, interregional coordination, demerits are misunderstanding. And Rina talked about this 2012. It is like it says about good things on the video, but the organizations actually needed donations, so they talked about buy us something in the end of the video. And the last, we talked about traditional culture. I said the more global we are, the more we neglect traditional culture. So I suggested traditional culture should not be preserved by multinational companies, but by local governments and citizens in residential communities. So, in the last, religion was in the core of cultural communication between Northeast Asia, but we still did not conclude what is in the core now. So this is end of our presentation. Thank you.
Next presentation, next for the group 2 discussion and presentation, and next we start not group 2 but group 1, and the topics are mature environmental problems and historical problems.
Hi everyone, this is Group 1 and I'm Yukika, and we'll be talking about mutual environmental problems and historical problems, and I'll talk about the mutual environmental problems, and so let's begin. So there's these issues in our region about marine pollution, overfishing, and deforestation, air pollution, and these are the main 4, but today we're going to go with the air pollution and we're going to talk about that. And for that, we have yellow dust and greenhouse gas and acid rain. So, and for greenhouse gas, it's a very wide issue. And this TEMM was a meeting that was held with the ministers of Korea, China, and Japan. And they talked about this, and greenhouse gas reduction and emission trading and team is something that is an educational program for youngsters that raise awareness about these environmental problems. So this right now, what we're doing right now is a very meaningful thing, so please listen. Okay, and the acid rain. I think you guys know about acid rain. It's an acidic rain that's harmful effects on plants, aquatic animals, and infrastructure. And it's caused by the air pollution. And the main source are coal-burning power plants in factories in China, North Korea, and elsewhere in the region. So about the vicious cycle, acid rain is harmful to plants. So it decreases the biomass productivity and thereby reduce the carbon uptake and degrade existing forests. And that caused to increase the carbon emissions. So it goes around and round, and it causes harm, and that's the vicious cycle. So we need to stop this. But the funny thing is depending on the time of the year, some countries may be originators and some countries can be recipients. So we have to cooperate to fix this problem. So, unfortunately, the problem can be fixed by technological controls. So, and Korea is working on it right now, and they're having a monitoring system of acid rain in Jeju Island, and I heard that's a beautiful place. And we're having Japan is having a global regional workshop on acid rain, and we're working on it right now. So I hope this problem will be solved soon. And that's for my part. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot one part. And yellow dust. And this is the most important part. And this is the main problem in China, North and South Korea and Japan, which is all of it. And it originates in the desert. And the damage causes a variety of health problems and destroys farmland and a series of farmland. And an actual case that happened in Tokyo in 2010 that caused health problems, and some people were hurt because the eyesight was very blurry at that time. And yeah, and some cases happened in Beijing and Korea also. And for the solution, a lot of Korean youngsters goes to China to plant trees to stop the dust from coming inland. And they have tree planting day on March 12th in China.
And next, I will talk about the historical problems. So we had a lot of topics came out from our group, and there were kind of 4 topics. The first one was the territorial problem. It is related to the historical problem because for example, Dokdo, we say that Dokdo is our land because the history says so. So it is very close related to the historical problem. And the second one is the comfort women problem. So I think that everyone knows about the comfort women. It is the girls that were sexually abused and during the war time. And the third one is the Yasukuni Shirin. And the fourth one was the textbook problem. And I think this problem covers all 3 problems all together. And we chose the most important one between the 4 things, and we chose the comfort women problem. And this is mainly about the Korean comfort women, and we found some important information on the internet. There is the protest called Wednesday protest, which is held every Wednesday every week, and in 2000 June 16, it was the 10,026th protest. It means that they are doing this over 20 years. And there was also a photo exhibition about the comfort women in Tokyo, and we saw that on the article many people just protested to this photo exhibition because they thought it would be a little bit aggressive expression to them. And next, there is a house for comfort women in Korea, where all the comfort women gather together and live together and help each other. And most of the comfort women are too old right now, and many of them have already passed away. And there is also a statue in front of the Embassy of Japan, which represents the comfort women which are alive right now. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you. From the staff group 3, and the topics are economic cooperation and political relationships.
We are group 3 and we choose topic, economic cooperation and political relationship, and we found that it's this 2 point is really close and connected. So we figure out to make the future suggestion combining the economic cooperation and political relationship. And we first talk about economic cooperation, and currently we regard economic cooperation is really good, so we think about why we think it's really good things to do. And the first point is it is really efficient for all countries. And second point is relationship among 3 countries would become better than not doing nothing. And third one is we can be the power of the world, and we can make the status more higher in the world. And the fourth point is we can solve the problems such as financial crisis, which had in 2008 together at like financial crisis. So, but the actual thing is, the fact is that we don't do economic cooperation so far, not that much. So we think about what is the obstacle what is the obstacle for economic cooperation. And the first one is the pressure from the other countries, such as America. Like we have all of our country have a pressure from America, and we heavily depend on America, or America makes our economics so far. So the pressure from America is really big. And the second point is when the policy change, like in Korea and in Japan, we have elections. So when the president change or the party change, the policy would change totally, and it might be the risk, like if we make the story and just before we decided to do that, it might be some countries' president would change and the policy would totally change and we cannot make it. That kind of thing is the waste of time, so we cannot do smoothly. And the third point is domestic suppliers business can be hit by the other country's supplier, which can provide more reasonable price. Like in Japan, Japanese products is very expensive. So if we import, other countries are really cheap. So if we, as a free trade, would go if we promote the free trade, it might be hit the domestic suppliers. And the fourth point is political relationship is not so good as first. Probably it's connected to the first group argument, and the reason for that political relationship among 3 countries are not so good is that it's like a history issue, territory issues, and the behavior toward the North Korea is a little bit different, and so on. And for the future suggestion, what we university students can do is help this kind of chance like YKRF, and really like the thing is like what we can do is really difficult, and we cannot change the whole of the world, so we just meet like this and to know what they think, or also to read newspapers from other countries, as she said, will give us a new point of view to look at the world. So it would be really nice. So let's enjoy YKRF.
Now we'll start the cultural experience after 10-minute break, and you have to change your clothes if your team will show the traditional or national clothes. The break starts from 3:27, and let's gather here again at 3:37.
Break time.